meeting of the Newburgh Enlarged City School District. We will begin tonight with a roll call. I'll do that. Mr. McCoy is not available. And the second item, we will be appointing a clerk pro tem. Christine Bello.
Here.
Thomasina Bello.
Here.
Mackenzie Boucher. Ray Bergarelli. Here. Sade Burks.
Here.
John DeRay present. Phil Howard. Mark Levenstein.
Here.
Letitia Politi.
Here.
And Ryan Orsino.
Here.
Thank you. Item 1.2 is resolution to approve clerk pro tem appointment. Can I get a motion and a second on 1.2?
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. Be it resolved that the Board of Education appoints Margot May as clerk pro tem for the meeting. Not a discussion item. Just call the roll.
I'm not yet the clerk.
Okay, I'll call the roll. Christine Bello.
Yes.
Thomasina Bello.
Yes.
Ray Bergarelli.
Yes.
Sade Burks.
Yes.
John DeRay, yes. Mark Levenstein.
Yes.
Letitia Politi.
Yes.
Thank you. Now you're the clerk. Okay, we're going to go off script for a second. We have student awards. Dr. Manning's going to help us with that.
Okay. Thank you. Good evening, everyone. Great to see you all. I'll ask the Director of Fine and Performing Arts to come up and do our presentation. Where are you? There you are. Thank you.
Take two. All right. Thank you very much, Dr. Manning Campbell, the Board of Education. So I'm Kristen Johnson, Director of Fine and Performing Arts. I'm so excited to celebrate the outstanding music achievements of our students, many who you see eagerly waiting back there tonight. We're going to recognize those who have represented our school with excellence in some of the most prestigious music festivals and auditions in the county and the region. These students have worked so hard, and their achievements reflect both their talent and dedication. Please join me in congratulating them as we highlight their accomplishments. So I'm going to go through all of our ensembles. The first one is OCMEA Elementary All-County Music. And this is a music festival that's a special opportunity from students across all of Orange County. They come together and perform in a county-wide ensemble for orchestra, chorus, and band. The festival will take place at the end of April this year at Monroe Woodbury High School. Congratulations to the following students in preparation and participation in this year's OCMEA Elementary All-County Music Festival. And if you are here and if you hear your name, you can come on up and get your certificate. Thank you for your patience in advance. We had 54 students selected for Elementary All-County. That number makes me so happy. We have Emery Pinkett. Annabelle Butler. Nora Carlson. Mackenzie Radford. Lila Ruffin-Legier. Inaru Karaneha. Madison Harrington. Ivy Hawkins. Angelique Herrera. Brianni Lebron. Yasen Mendez-Payez. Annie Palencia. Divine Singleton. Eden Blair. Eliana Cruz Lozano. Elizabeth Feedy. Juliana Hernandez. Abigail Reyes. Nala Mitchell. And I know many of these students right now are in musical rehearsals for The Lion King and Little Mermaid. So I've seen many of these names already. Kennedy Staples. Lily Adams. Victoria Barthmeyer. Serafina Quellar. Brandon Enriquez. Ranieles Florentino. Joseph Garcia. Jordan Hunt. Peyton Kozlowski. Gia Kozlowski. Sherlyn Mejia. Peyton Nelson. Noelle Williams. Aria Cho. Martine Surfin. Giabella Tosco. Stella Beasley. Charlotte Carlson. Gianna Guerra Lemus. Sophia Hawkins. Elise Curley. Camila Pena. Caitlin Stanwyck. Kaisley Gil Mazzara. Kalela Holmes. Kiara Perez. Nigeli Petit-Home. Kieran Kia Owuso Agiemen. Cameron Sevenoy. But wait, there's more. Let me tell you about the OCMEA Junior High All-County Music Ensembles. So this ensemble is the students auditioned on February 7th, the day before the very big snowstorm. And this festival is going to take place May 1st and 2nd at Valley Central High School, so it hasn't happened yet. Congratulations to the following students for their participation in this year's OCMEA Junior High All-County Music Festival. Adriel Lucero. Atticus Pirkas. Eve Lawrence. Congratulations. Haley Clark. Arisa Guerin. Elise Pinkett. And Alana Orris. Your arms getting tired yet from clapping? Sorry, there's more. The OCMEA Senior High All-County Music Ensembles. So these students auditioned way back in October, and this festival took place in January at Cornwall High School. So congratulations to the following students for their participation in the OCMEA Senior High All-County Music Festival. We have Tyler Decker. Stephanie Romano. Ayana Gorham. Edgar Ramirez, Quinn Tracy, Joseph Vega Ramos. You remember Joseph performed violin a couple of board meetings ago as well. Sayori Diaz, Jasmine Rice, Candace Bryan, Drake Burns, and Matthew Gessner. You know there's more. The OCMEA Jazz All-County Music Festival, which we hosted at our very own NFA Maine in February. It was a 2-day event culminating in a concert performance, of course, and students had to prepare a solo piece for their audition, which included sight reading and scales. After they auditioned and it's successful, students from all across Orange County participate in the festival and the final concert. Congratulations to the following students for their participation in the OCMEA Jazz All-County Music Festival. We had one student that was Drake Burns. The NYSSMA area all-state ensembles. So these students represent the highest level of music achievement at the regional level. So these groups are open to students in grades 10 through 12, and they're selected based on their NYSSMA solo adjudications from the previous school year. This competitive audition process includes students from Greene, Ulster, Sullivan, Orange, and Rockland counties. Congratulations to the following students for their selection and participation in the NYSSMA Area All-State Festival. Mariah Centeno, Maya Jones, Stephanie Romano, Edgar Ramirez, and Andrew Rodriguez. Last one, I promise. The NYSSMA All-State Ensembles, so that is the most prestigious music ensemble in New York State, reserved only for high school juniors and seniors. With over 6,500 students vying for a spot, only those who achieve a 99 or 100% on their auditions are even considered. This highly competitive process culminates in the formation of the All-State groups, and only the very best of the best are chosen. We are thrilled to congratulate Mariah Centeno, who was chosen this year as an alternate. And if you join me in giving me one more round of applause for all of these wonderful students and their hard work. Thank you very much, and congratulations again.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. We are moving on to item 2, Board President Resolution to adopt board policies on the first reading.
Point of order, Mr. President. Before we proceed with bringing this resolution to the floor, I'd like to ask whether any trustee with an immediate family member in a position affected by policy 9501 intends to recuse themselves, consistent with our conflict of interest obligations.
Okay. None that I'm aware of. Get a motion and a second on 2.1, please.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion on 2.1?
Mr. President,
Mr. Bergarelli.
can we, for 2.1, public comment at board meetings, can we go ahead and motion table that, please?
Motion to table 2.1, public comment at board meetings. That's my question.
Yes.
Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Get a second on the motion to amend?
Second.
Okay, get a vote on the motion as amended?
Ms. Bello?
What are we voting on?
We're voting, we tabled, or we're voting to table public comment at board meetings.
Yes.
Ms. Thomasina Bello?
Yes.
Mr. Bergarelli?
Yes.
Ms. Burks?
Yes.
Mr. Duray?
Yes.
Mr. Levinstein?
Yes.
Ms. Politi?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. We have a motion still on the floor, 2.1, policy 9501, non-represented employees. We don't need it, we need discussion on that item. Go ahead.
Discussion on 9501.
No, discussion on 2.1, non-represented employees policy.
The policy.
Right.
Yes, I have discussion. This is a very substantial benefits framework for non-union employees. It locks in longevity payments up to $20,000. And they're not small numbers, and they compound over time. It establishes a minimum salary differential above union positions. For instance, when CSEA salaries go up, these go up even more. It grants 100% district-paid health insurance at retirement, which is a significant long-term liability. It creates retirement incentives tied to years of service that could cost thousands per employee. It adds vacation, sick leave, personal leave, and carryover rules. And we need to know the financial impact of that. It applies to pedagogical and non-pedagogical managerial staff, which reaches far beyond clerical roles. This is a very big compensation package. So I have a few questions. What is the total cost of this policy for the years 26, 27? No, okay. How many employees fall under this policy?
I can answer that, five or six.
What is the long-term liability for retirement incentives and the 100% district-paid health care?
Chair recognizes Ms. Peterson.
Okay, so in the proposed policy, there were changes that were asked regarding only a certain portion. Many of the things that you have just stated are a current part of the policy and has been a longstanding practice of the district. Some of the other questions, if could be answered. I know that we have previously, during certain points with the board, kind of talked about how each unit, I know that that's often a part of our budget presentation, what each unit may cost the representatives. But what we're finding is some positions within our confidential managerial, we've had increases to CSEA. When CSEA increases go in, that does not impact confidential managerial. That does not impact confidential managerial. Those are separate and apart. So let's just say CSEA gets an increase, that doesn't apply to confidential managerial. There's a separate resolution, which is also a part of this policy, that annually we determine what their increase is. It's not a part of any bargaining unit. They're direct employees to the district. So what we were finding in the confidential managerial in certain clerical spaces, they are because the increases in CSEA is outpacing similar positions that are in the confidential managerial space. And this is an attempt to correct that. The other things that you mentioned are also very common within our CSEA contracts in terms of benefits and longevity, and that's modeled after those. And that has not been requested of the board to change. We are just requesting those certain positions within. The second request within the policy is in regards to vacation. Right now, a confidential managerial employee can earn vacation, and because of this policy, they are unable to take what they earn. So it's an attempt to also correct that as well.
I have additional comments. It also gives us a superintendent unilateral authority to set salary increases, and that is a function of the board. So basically, we are allowing our authority to be usurped.
All salary increases come before the board. So there was a salary increase that was requested, it's voted upon by the board. We can't unilaterally increase a salary without board approval by general municipal law.
I know, but setting the compensation, approving the budgets, and managing the long-term liabilities is a function of the board, not the
Correct. At the
superintendent.
recommendation of the superintendent, you will see a section within the board agenda every week, that's human resources, with recommendations from the superintendent to the board on salary. That happens at every board meeting.
Well, the policy has significant financial implications, salary increases, longevity payments, retirement incentives, and health insurance liabilities. We haven't been provided with the detailed expenditure information or cost projections necessary to evaluate the impact. So without that information, voting on a first read would require blind faith and a rubber stamp.
Ms. Peterson, if I may, the longevity, I'm reading here, it says effective July 1st, 2022. This policy has been in
Yes, this is not new. I'm requesting.
multiple years.
I'm requesting a portion of the policy that we are finding pay inequity within certain of our confidential managerial spaces. This policy has been in effect since 2022. Portion that is being referenced.
But as I said, we haven't been given any cost analysis at all on this.
I can't answer that next question on the floor.
We'll recognize Mr. Levinstein, please.
So the question I have, does the things that we're voting on here now bring this group of employees in line with all our other 1,000, 2,000 employees, that are represented in a different way? That's the impression that I get, that this will bring them basically in line with everyone else.
So as noted in the policy, the changes that are requested that are to the clerical positions that were in the confidential managerial space. So that is correct, Mr. Levinstein.
Thank you.
Ms. Peterson, in terms of the medical benefits, I'm reading 100%, employees with 10 years shall be entitled to 100% district-paid health benefits. Does that go back to 2022 also?
I'm not sure if that amendment, the longevities that may be a part of it, but that is no different than our CSEA or our NTA units. It's no different, or NASA.
Thank you. Any further discussion on 2.1 as amended? Call the roll.
Ms. Thomasina Bello?
No.
Mr. Bergarelli?
Yes.
Ms. Burks?
Yes.
Mr. DeRay?
Yes.
Mr. Levinstein?
Yes.
Ms. Politi?
Yes.
Ms. Christine Bello?
No.
Motion carries.
Thank you. We're at item 3, executive session. Be it resolved that the Board of Education hereby recesses into executive session for the following purpose: matters made confidential under FERPA, matters leading to the employment of particular employees or corporations, employment history of employees or corporations, collective bargaining under the Taylor Law, and to obtain advice from legal counsel. Got a motion and a second on executive session.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Bergarelli?
Yes.
Ms. Burks?
Yes.
Mr. DeRay?
Yes.
Mr. Levinstein?
Yes.
Ms. Politi?
Yes.
Ms. Christine Bello?
Yes.
Ms. Thomasina Bello?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Anticipate Thank you. We are back from executive session. Next item is the Pledge of Allegiance, tonight led by Letitia Politi. To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, Ms. Politi. We are up to public comment on agenda items. Just a short statement before we move to that. All speakers and observers must conduct themselves in a civil manner. Obscene language, statements known to be defamatory by the board president, threats of violence, statements advocating racial, religious, or other forms of prejudice will not be tolerated. With that, the clerk will call whoever signed up.
Ms. Deb Boulay?
Can you hear me? Yep. There are several reasons why the budget, I believe, should be voted down, but I'll speak about only one tonight. New York State Controller Thomas DiNapoli completed a report of the district's finances from 2019 to June 2024, published in February 2026. The report was scathing and detailed many errors and mistakes made by 5 on this board and the district. None of you have taken responsibility nor been held accountable for your lack of financial oversight. And therein lies questions of trust. Page 2 states that the district underestimated how much money it would receive by $25.7 million, and that created yearly surpluses. Despite these yearly surpluses, the board led taxpayers to believe that it needed more money. The district was not transparent with taxpayers. That was a quote. Therefore, when the board presented to the taxpayers the 24-25 budget with a tax increase of $2.7 million, it was unnecessary. There were surpluses from the 4 years before, plus a $17 million surplus from fiscal 23-24. The taxpayers deserve that money back. Page 6 states surplus funds can be used for reducing district property taxes. So are our taxes being rebated in this budget? No, they are not. Not only are we not getting reimbursed, but the same 5 board members serving now decided to reward the superintendent of finance, the person that created this budget, by giving her a raise and a contract extension a few weeks before the surplus was realized. That's troubling. In September 2023, 3 months after I was inducted into the Board of Education, the board was made aware of an existing lawsuit that emanated from events several years earlier. Under legal advisement, we made a unanimous decision to pay the 2 litigants $11 million. The settlement that we agreed to and publicly voted on required us to pay $8 million no later than December 31st, 2023, another $1 million by the end of June. The remaining $2 million would be paid over the next 2 years. The superintendent of finance assured us that the money was available. We were told that the money should have been paid by insurance. However, the district lost the policy. The details of this deal were released to USA Today Network through a FOIL request and publicly disclosed. Writer Chris McKenna, in an article February 7, 2024, wrote that the deal was signed on September 11, 2023 by the 2 litigants and on 9/26/23 by the Newburgh School Board president. The article stated the same terms I just read to you and goes on to state that district officials told the USA Today Network in an emailed statement that it will draw funds from a budget reserve account for liabilities and from its unassigned fund balance, meaning its surplus. It was not until the February 25, 2026 meeting, after I released videos on the findings of this New York State report, that the board president announced that $16 million of the $17 million surplus was used to pay decades-old lawsuits. The superintendent of finance presented a slide and indicated that $16 million was board approved. By the way, when we left the board, there were no other pending decades-old lawsuits. So here are the problems. There is no public recorded vote of $16 million to be used from a surplus to decades-old lawsuits. and the board can only authorize the expense of the money with a public vote. I personally checked the minutes of 64 Board of Ed meetings from 2/6/24 through the last meeting of this year. The $9 million of that $11 million from the 9/23 vote was required to be paid before that $17 million surplus, and therefore should not have been included in a figure of $16 million. Did any or all 5 current board members decide without a board vote to not pay that $9 million and wait and pay it with the $17 million surplus? The original and only board vote of 9/23 for $11 million was not rescinded. Most troubling question of all, if you decided to wait and pay it with a surplus or with money from the previously collected surpluses, does that not mean that you intentionally did not tell the public that we did not need a tax increase? How do we go forward approving anything you do when this is what you do? Taxpayers deserve to get the money back that was wrongly taken from them and without affecting students and frontline jobs. Until we are guaranteed a rebate, I urge everyone to vote no. And according to the New York State Comptroller's report in their appendix that they gave to us, their surplus fund balance for this district was not $17 million, it was $18,073,209. Thank you.
Thank you.
Ms. Victoria Boucher?
Hello. Long time no see. My name is Victoria Boucher. I am a current taxpayer and mother of a student in the district. I am the current PTO president at New Windsor School, and I also served on this board in the 24-25 school year. I am here to say no. I am here to advise you to vote no on the 26-27 budget. I verified the data presented by the NTA president at the last meeting. I did not rely on ChatGPT. A simple search on Cloud asking if someone should be quoting ChatGPT at a Board of Education meeting states accuracy and reliability. ChatGPT can make mistakes, hallucinate facts, or present outdated information with confidence. Board of Education meetings involve real policy decisions affecting students and staff, so the quality of information presented matters. Yet we had an incumbent board member use ChatGPT to attack these numbers that I'm about to read, which are 100% accurate and verified. Her actions are not only unacceptable, but worrisome at best because an elected decision maker that uses false information to try and boost her own credibility is dangerous. And yet she is one of 6 sitting up there responsible for the job losses and knows it. First, eliminate means completely remove or get rid of something. A layoff means a discharge of a worker or workers because of economic conditions or shortage of work. In 23-24 school year, the district eliminated 16 NTA positions. In 24-25 school year, the district eliminated 82 positions when, according to New York State Comptroller Thomas DiNapoli, we had a surplus of $84.4 million. Last year, 5 more positions were eliminated. Over the last 3 years, the district has abolished over 100 teaching and teaching assistant jobs, while administrative roles have continued to grow. An additional 28.6 positions are set to be eliminated with your 26-27 budget, including 20 teaching assistant vacancies. 16 of these positions are in first grade, where they were intentionally created to support early literacy. 50 teacher and teaching assistant jobs were unfilled at the end of last year. Unfilled positions do not equal unneeded positions. This means we must be a district where people want to come to work and want to stay. We are not that. You must listen to stakeholders. You do not do that. We should not be eliminating teaching positions that directly impact learning, and therefore I urge the public to not support this budget. Thank you.
Thank you.
Tracy Wallace?
Hi. I'm speaking as a community member, not as a representative of my employer or any other committees that I'm on. I do want to talk about the public comment policy. I wrote to the Board of Ed about this. I just wanted to, I know that you tabled it, I just wanted to read it out loud. I read through the public comment policy and the proposed amendments. I would like to understand why the request to allow someone to speak on behalf of an individual with a disability was not included in the proposed revisions. If there's legal concern regarding this request, could the policy committee also consider the option of allowing remote public comment for individuals with disabilities who may be unable to travel to attend meetings but still wish to provide public comment? I would also like to suggest the following considerations for the public comment policy. The Board of Education, at its discretion, may increase or decrease the time allotted for individual speakers, specify permissible topics of discussion during public comment periods, ensuring that no personal matters involving individuals are clear and are not a part of public comment period. Speakers may comment on any matter related to the district business, any agenda item, or matters generally related to items on the agenda. For members of the public who are unwilling or unable to speak during public comment periods, including when those periods are closed, that may submit comments to the board in writing to the designated district address. During virtual meetings, members of the public may also enter comments in the question and answer section of the meeting platform, so their comments can be submitted for the board's consideration. I consider the amount of people that come here to comment publicly and the amount of people that watch, and I feel that some voices are not being heard. So I'm asking to look at the public policy and revise it so that many members of the public can be heard. About the budget, not last week, at the last meeting, I agreed with the NTA president in that we need more boots on the ground. We do need more teachers' assistants. I actually looked at the data in that we did decrease, and I think it was 116 students in our population. However, we increased that percentage of kids with disabilities. So we do see, although there is a decrease in the amount of kids we have, over 116 throughout our entire district, the increase means there's still a demand for these positions. So I'm asking if the budget can include the positions that are needed. I also saw that the positions that were added were for the new CTE building, and my kids are looking forward to the CTE building. They're in middle school, they're excited, and everyone's excited. We want to know how that is going to work out and who's going to get into that school. But anyway, as far as the budget, we just want to make sure that the budget includes everyone that is needed, and that the board really look at the budget and look at the faculty and the needs of the students in that budget. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you.
There's nobody else.
There's one person.
Good evening. My name is David Ryan. I'm a Newburgh resident, a father, and a taxpayer. And to be clear, I'm against this budget. I'm against it because the board is asking the public to approve $394 million in a spending plan, an increase of $14 million, almost $15 million, or 3.9%, while district enrollment is now at 10,000 students, down 336 from last year and down 570 over the last 5 years. When enrollment keeps falling, the burden is on the current majority to prove why spending keeps rising. They have not done that. I'm against this budget because the district's own presentation admits a pattern taxpayers should not ignore. It says the district has repeatedly funded vacancies that remained unfilled, and that those unfilled positions result in year-end surpluses, funds in both salary and benefits. As of March 1st of this year, the district still showed 133.45 vacancies in the general fund, compared with a 5-year March 1st average of 112. That's not a one-off. That's a budgeting pattern, and that is exactly why I oppose this budget. When you budget positions you don't realistically fill, you generate surplus. When you do that year after year, while taxpayers are not reimbursed and do not see that realism built into the budget up front, the public has every right to say this is not honest stewardship. It is over-budgeting first and explaining later. That last sentence is my inference from the district's own vacancy and surplus disclosures. I'm against this budget because its spending growth is real. Salaries rise $178 million. Benefits rise $115.5 million. Supplies, contract services, tuition, equipment, and similar costs rise $89 million. Administration rises again, $42 million. When is enough? These are not small numbers. These are numbers that demand public trust, and the board has not earned that trust. I'm against this budget because because staffing story still does not add up. The district says it's making 35.6 staffing reductions, although vacancies and through vacancies and retirements. But it's still adding 7 non-CTE positions and 26 CTE positions, including 9 newly created positions. That is not the picture of a board tightening its belt. It's a picture of a board still asking the public to take much on faith. And accountability does not stop at the numbers. The budgets reflect judgment. Budgets that reflect priorities. Budgets reflect people advancing them. The public has watched a current majority that is quick to invoke procedure, quick to control the room, quick to defend its own decisions, but much slower to answer deep questions. Those decisions create. That matters because with 3 seats coming up before the voters, the budget is not just a spending plan. It's a reflection of the judgment of the current majority. The district will say there is no tax levy, and the revenue growth is driven largely by $14.1 million state aid increase. Fine, but a flat levy is not proof of discipline, and more aid is not a license for sloppy budgeting. It's a reason for more scrutiny, not less. So yes, I oppose this budget. I oppose it because enrollment is down while spending is up. I oppose it because funded vacancies keep turning into surpluses. I oppose it because taxpayers are not seeing the realism reflected up front. And I oppose it because the people driving these decisions, the 3 that are up for re-election, have not earned the public confidence they are asking for tonight. The budget should reject this as it's presented. You should go back to work and do the people's work and not your own.
Thank you. Anyone else on agenda items?
Hi, my name is Kaylee Silva, and that's my mom over there. I wanted to talk about, because I heard you guys, the last time I spoke, which was a few months ago, we talked about having a proxy for people with disabilities. Because I know you guys tabled it, but we should really have that, because what if people have like really bad anxiety or like the weather? Like last time when I spoke, my mom couldn't come up because of the bad snowstorm we had, and she couldn't come up. And there are other people with like transportation, like, you know, maybe the buses might break down, like something might happen where they can't really come here, or like people who really want to say something, like, and have really bad anxiety, like sometimes I do, like they should be able to have a voice, because if they like are really, if they want to talk about like the matters that, I'm sorry, but they should really be able to have a voice. So I think that we should have that policy that where people with like a written disability, because so if they have like a written disability, like my mom, she's in a wheelchair, and if people like my mom or other people that can't come due to like stuff that they can't control, that they should be able to still speak. So I feel like we should have that there.
Thank you. Anyone else on agenda items? We're going to move to non-agenda items then.
Tracy Wallace. Signed up.
Anyone else on non-agenda items?
Hi again. I just had a question. It's been brought up in a couple meetings in the school side about security guards and extracurricular activities in the building. There was a rumor going around that security guards were only going to be allotted for 2 events after school moving forward. I'm not sure if it's in this budget, but I just want to make sure that if the school has an event after hours, that we are allowed to have security, and if we're not allowed to do that, what can the PTOs of the building do to make sure we have that security? So that's my question for today. Thank you.
Thank you.
So I think there's some miscommunication and misunderstanding. So the PTOs can have events covered when monies are raised. The district has decided that we would cover 2 events per building. So it's not that you can't have security, it's that the PTO would have to fundraise for the other ones. You're welcome.
Yep.
Non-agenda, right? Good evening. My name is David Ryan. I'm a Newburgh resident, a father, and someone who cares deeply about this community, this district, and the children it's supposed to serve. And as we approach Israeli Independence Day, which is why I carry this flag, I say this plainly. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, and liberty for all. A board earns public confidence through judgment, transparency, restraint, and results. By those standards, this board's recent record does not inspire confidence. It invites scrutiny. The public has watched major decisions unfold in ways that raise serious questions about governance and accountability. During the 2025 election cycle, the public saw conduct that created the unmistakable appearance of political coordination around the return of the superintendent, the suspended superintendent. What followed only reinforced that concern. The superintendent returned. Outside counsel was paid with taxpayer dollars, our dollars, people, and the whole process moved with the kind of speed and certainty that ordinary people in this district rarely see when they need fairness, answer, and relief most. The public has watched the money too. The deputy superintendent's contract already contemplated carrying out superintendent's duties during an absence. Yet for the specific absence that I'm concerned about, the board still chose to approve an additional $13,000 on top of a very generous salary. That came on top of roughly $65,000 paid to the Donovan Group for communications and image management. They're doing well. Each item may be defended in isolation. Together, they tell a familiar story. There always seems to be money for insiders, image management, and administrative priorities, while taxpayers and teachers are expected to accept less transparency and more explanation after the fact. There are governance concerns that go beyond dollars alone. The public is entitled to expect that trustees respect the limits of their office and do not drift into areas better left to the administration and professional channels. A board governs by policy and oversight. It's not supposed to operate as an informal extension of personnel management or internal influence. The public is entitled to expect a meeting environment that reflects dignity, access, and respect for everyone, including people with disabilities. I know that from lived experience. I am disabled. The last time I came here to speak, I sent an email in advance requesting a simple accommodation, the use of a podium, that one right there. The podium was here in the room then too, yet it was not provided to me. That is not a small thing. It is not a courtesy issue. It's an access issue. Equal participation in public comment means more than technically allowing someone to speak, and it means giving that person a fair and respectful opportunity to do so. The public is entitled to expect consistency too, but too often serious concerns about governance, fiscal stewardship, public conduct, and accountability are brushed aside, while energy is spent policing side issues like Torah comments that do nothing to restore trust. That is not leadership. That is deflection while using GPT. Tonight's agenda raises another appearance problem the public has every right to question. The appointment of Margot May as clerk pro tem presents an obvious concern for anyone who still believes public bodies should maintain visible independence. She is the spouse of District Counsel David Shaw, the mother-in-law of District Clerk and partner in the same law firm that represents the board. Maybe someone can explain to me why this board keeps finding itself in arrangements that may be technically permissible, but still looks exactly like the kind of insider overlap that destroys public confidence. And then there's the larger fiscal issue. The state comptroller found that unrealistic budgeting contributed to approximately $87 million in variances between what taxpayers were told and the district's actual operating results during the audit period, during the time that these 3 people want to be reelected for. The comptroller further found that the board was not as transparent with taxpayers as it could have been during the budget process. That's a quote, and that matters. Because when the board asks the public for trust, it is not entitled to that trust. It has to be earned through independence, discipline, transparency, sound stewardship, and public of public money. And that is the real question facing the district. Not whether each individual decision can be rationalized after the fact, not whether every appearance problem can be lawyered into acceptability. The real question is whether the overall pattern reflects the judgment, restraint, and accountability the people of Newburgh deserve. Too often, the answer appears to be no. With 3 seats coming up, the voters of this district should take a hard look who has earned that right and who has earned that right to remain at this table, because the public office is not a reward for loyalty, for passing out largesse to your friends. It's a duty. Try and do it. Thank you.
Thank you. Would anybody else like to speak on non-agenda items? All right, we'll close that out. Moving to item 6, superintendent's update.
Thank you. Good evening. Ms. Roaring will be presenting our proposed budget, and I am also going to use that opportunity to clarify some of the information that was presented during public comment, because I think that there's some information that needs to be clarified about staffing levels, vacancies, and layoffs and things of that sort. So I just want to, as Ms. Roaring is preparing, I just want to make myself crystal clear again. The district offered a good faith negotiations in 2024, right? During that year, we offered that, I believe it came to 4.5 million. Members of the Teachers Association who elected to retire received 50% of their compensation. So nobody lost their jobs, nobody was laid off. This was a good faith negotiation because the district, during the COVID years, every school district across the state received additional funding for COVID. This district decided to utilize the monies to purchase human services. What does that mean? There were teachers that were hired. That was not the case. I was not here as the superintendent. The folks in charge made the best decision possible based on the student needs. There was a decision made to hire folks. If you go back to the language and the intention of the COVID funds, the funds were really supposed to be utilized for services, for purchases, things to aid in learning. However, the district utilized the money to provide human beings, teachers, teaching assistants, staffing. Okay, fine, no problem. However, because we knew that the one-time funding was running out, when we came in, we did an audit of programs, services, and staffing. We knew that we had several numbers of teachers and staff members who were eligible for retirement. So we offered this good faith negotiation. 62 teachers took that. 58 teachers took that, thank you, as well as additional positions. It seems that this good faith negotiations is being used against the district over and over and over again. We entered into an agreement. Nobody lost their jobs. The staff took advantage of an amazing, unheard of opportunity to retire. Additionally, the teaching assistants that are on the books again are the same teaching assistant positions that we talked about 2 years ago. There's no new information. What happened last year, amongst other things, these 16 positions were carried over into the books. It is not that the administration is not attempting to fund teaching assistant positions. We cannot find them. We don't even have enough in some instances for our mandated positions, which are special education. First grade teaching assistants, that is a luxury. That is a luxury. We spoke with the administrators. We did not arbitrarily remove people from classrooms or buildings. We placed teaching assistants due to mandatory services and supports. So it's really important to get this information out there. We are not no one lost their job. We are not laying teachers off. Community member who came up and you talked about, I'm so grateful that you brought up that although we've reduced in certain areas, we've increased in our special education services. Once we have a need for teachers, we hire teachers. We operate within a dollar amount, within a budget, that's what the board approves, and we hire. Throughout the year, if you go back to look at our resolutions, you see that we're always hiring teachers. We cannot force anyone to come. We don't remove positions at times. We hope to fill the positions. We are a large entity. We have over 2,000 staff members. So it appears that 17 positions may seem like it's not really a lot of positions when you think about how we add. People move in and out of organizations. This is not a Dr. Manning Campbell piece. People move, they go to different districts, they are promoted. So I really want to make sure that we give out accurate information when we're speaking as the authority in the public.
Thank you, Dr. Manning. You ready, Ms. Moore?
This evening, we're reviewing the superintendent's proposed budget for 26-27. Next slide, please. We're going to review some enrollment and class size information, as well as our staffing changes and requests, the proposed budget and revenue, and our three-part budget. If we can go to the enrollment information. This is the district enrollment for this year by grade level, including our ungraded elementary and secondary at the bottom of this table. You'll see that the total is 10,064 students. Next slide, please. When we look at the enrollment at the elementary level, this is elementary class size and average by grade. So down the left-hand side, you'll see each of our schools, and then across the top, you'll see grade levels. To the left of the grade level, you'll see the number of sections in that building for that grade. And then underneath the grade level, you will see the average enrollment in each of those classes. When you come to the bottom, you'll see our number of sections range from 33 to 36. The fewest being in grade 4 and the most being in grade 2. You'll also see that the overall class size ranges from 18.3 to 22.1, the lowest class size being in kindergarten, and the highest at this time being in grade 3. Next slide, please. This is also a review of enrollment changes over the last several years in the district. If we go back to 2021, we had 10,634 students.
1 second.
I'm sorry.
Turn your mic on.
If someone has questions, should we do it in the portion that Ms. Roaring is doing, or do you want to wait till the end of the presentation?
I prefer the end. If we-
Okay,
Okay.
thank you.
Please continue.
Okay, thank you. If we look at the enrollment for the current year, as we shared by grade, it's 10,064. So over the last 5 years, we've seen a decrease in enrollment of 570 students. Next slide, please. If we look at our staffing, we wanted to share some salary information for our faculty unit. This is the 24-25 salary data because our contract was only recently ratified and approved by the board for 25-26. You'll see that the lowest salary is $61,701.99 as the low base. Our high base of current staff is over $143,000. The adjusted column reflects the various stipends and credit hours that they are also allowed to accrue as part of their compensation. You'll see that the high goes from that $143,000 to $186,000. And the 3% on that is $5,606.94. When we look to the right-hand chart, you'll also see a band of salary ranges. They start at less than 50 and they go to 175 to 200,000 at the bottom. You'll notice that none of our staff make less than $50,000 in the NTA bargaining unit. You will see that the greatest number of staff are compensated between $75,000 and $150,000. That reflects 88% of that bargaining unit. Next slide, please. When we're looking at our vacancies in the general fund, which has been already spoken about this evening, you'll see that we have a range. We picked 3 snapshots in time, and we looked over the last 5 years. You'll see in November, our lowest has been 91.5, and our highest has been 151.25. In January, our lowest was 86.5, and our highest this year is 142.45. Similarly, at March 1st, our lowest was 90.5 back in 22-23, and our highest is 133.45. This does show that the district has persistent vacancies. However, each year, each of these positions is evaluated with the principals and the program administrators, as well as with the division chiefs, to consider what is necessary for our students and what our mandated positions we are to require. We've already spoken a little bit, back please, one slide. We've spoken a little bit about that retirement incentive, which information is here as well. Next slide. We are continuing to propose staffing reductions for next year of 35.6 positions. These are due to vacancies, retirements, and resignations. There are no layoffs in this proposed reduction of 35.6 positions. Next slide, please. We are requesting staffing additions for the 26-27 school year that are not associated with the opening of the new CTE building. We've heard extensively from Ms. McKitty-Bromley during the budget cycle regarding some of the needs in the Exceptional Learners Department. We are requesting 3 behaviorists, 2 CSE and CPSE chairpeople, 1 data processing clerk, all for that division, and 1 chief custodian on the PM shift, as we've identified a need to have some supervision on that shift to ensure the cleanliness of our buildings. Next slide, please. Back 1. Thank you. This reflects the staffing needs for the opening of our CTE building next year. This is a total of 26 positions for next year. 17 of them are going to be reassigned either vacancies or current staff, and we are asking to create 9 positions. It's important to note that 3 of these are associated with building security. 2 of them are associated with the custodial staff. Many are also associated with new programming that's coming into that building next year, so we don't currently have these staff, and we need to ensure that we have credentialed faculty in front of our students. This is a grow out of this building. The number of staff will continue to change as we go forward and continue to grow these programs. Next slide, please. Our proposed budget, once again, for next year is $394 million. Within the operations and maintenance budget, we've allocated up to $100,000 spent to do playground repairs and maintenance of our playgrounds. The board has received line-by-line revenue and expense, a position listing, and the 3-part budget. Next slide, please. This reflects our 3-part. We'll notice in 24-25, this is actual. So as we indicated, we had reallocated some funds at the end of the year to support some other expenses. You'll see that there's a shift into capital. That is because the board approved a band principal payment of $15 million to reduce our long-term debt. That's why you'll see capital in 24-25 is significantly higher than 25-26 or 26-27 because it reflects the actual expenditures. You'll notice that that also shows a lesser expenditure in the program area. And that is because those funds were shifted from the program to the capital to pay down that debt service. Next slide, please. The revenue projection we're showing here is a pie chart because we think it makes it very digestible. You'll see here that almost $260 million of our revenue continues to come from state aid. As a higher need district, that will always be true in Newburgh. Our local revenue is the blue slip, the larger blue slip. That is largely comprised of our tax levy and our pilot payments, as well as interest earnings on our investments. When we look at that breakout of $9.5 million, that is between the 8.8 of one-time funds of appropriated fund balance and use of restricted reserves. This honors the board's reduction of 5% per year in that category. The $725,000 is federal funding, and that comes to us for 2 things. One is Medicaid reimbursement, and the other is support for our JROTC program. Next slide, please. Here that shows the total again of $394 million. It is $14.8 million, or a 3.9% increase year over year. And while that is an increase, and we have seen some decrease in enrollment, it's important to note that certain expenses go up every single year. And that includes our employee compensation, it includes our employee benefits, our transportation contract, and all of our out-of-district tuition, as well as other contractual services and mandated expenditures. This does propose a flat tax levy, and it does recognize an increase of $14.1 million in aid, largely driven by expense-based aids. Next slide. The public hearing on the budget will be on May 12th, and the annual vote will occur on May 19th. Questions?
Go ahead, Ms. Boucher.
So you showed a slide that showed the elementary school class sizes,
What are our class sizes for grades 6 to 12?
So that's going to vary because in elementary you have homerooms. Sorry, can everybody hear me? In elementary you have homerooms, and in high school and secondary you have different classes. So an art class might have 22 students, and a geometry class might have 18 students. So it really varies. And students will go in and out throughout the day. So that data is much harder to capsize in a one slide because it varies. Your average class size, though, is still relatively small. And when we looked at the data, we saw very few classes that we consider to be, 25 or more.
Thank you, Mr. Howard.
Thank you, Mr. President. So enrollment, under the enrollment section, I see where we have seen a decline. Is the anticipation going in a positive or negative direction going forward? But when you answer that question, how is it reflected in this budget, those concerns?
Mrs. Peterson.
So that's one of the things that district administration has been really looking at for the past several years. And you'll see within the agenda tonight, there is an RFP proposal for a demographic study for our area. We are seeing that decline. So we need economists and statisticians to really look at live birth records, development within our community to determine whether or not we are anticipated to continue to see the decline or the increase. So that's something that districts primarily do when they're starting to see this decline to determine planning and next steps.
So the district also did one just a couple of years ago. We've been doing this as an ongoing practice as part of our capital planning, as we've done some construction and as we go into our building condition survey this year. We have seen some adjustments in enrollment more significantly over the last year or so as there's been a significant change in federal policy. And that's where we're seeing some of our declines.
Thank you, Ms. Norman. Mr. Levinstein.
So, Mr. President, I have a few questions. If you want to break it for somebody else and come back, is fine. Two, my first comment is the slide on the PowerPoint for the NTA salary data is not on our presentation. If you could please get that to us, that slide is missing. So a couple of things that I noticed. In elementary school, if you averaged all of the classes, it's 20.25 students per class is an average for all the schools, all the grades, which at times I've heard much higher figures recited. Another thing, I'm glad that the 6 of the 7 new additional jobs created are for exceptional learners to get us back on track there. So then there's 2 questions. The district enrollment change, which is about 5% over the past couple of years, is that a statewide average? Is that what it is all over the state, or is it? I mean, I just want to know if if it's a normal thing. Do we know?
I mean, that's something that we definitely would have to look into. We really just looked at, and this is also a part of what the enrollment study will show us. We focused on our district and we wanted to ensure that we are preparing and planning for our community. But that is something definitely we can request to look at live birth rates, and it's a part of that process.
All right, and then I just have one more question. So the budget is rising about 15 million this year. So looking through it line by line, it seems that most of the cost is related to employees, all employees and their benefits. So my question is, and that's every year kind of that happens, but my question is can we find out what the total number of employees we had for 25-26 school year, and now what we are projecting for 26-27? And then the second part of that question is, are they total positions or total employees? But I would like to understand if we're going up 15 million, if that was a change, substantial change either way for employees from one year to the next.
So you do see in the presentation our requested adds and our proposed reductions, and that net is the difference in employees year over year. So we're creating 9 new positions in CTE, and we're asking for 7 other positions. That would be 16 new positions we're asking for. And we have the proposed reduction of 35.6. That net is the difference year over year.
Is that net about 20 less employees?
I believe it's about 19, yeah. 19 and change.
Okay, so it's 19 less employees, but 15 million more.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Ms. Boucher.
Are any of the reduced positions currently being supplemented with long-term subs?
These were reviewed in great detail in a staffing meeting with the executive team, and we looked at each vacancy very specifically, and what we identified is that these positions largely are not being filled with long-term subs at this time. There are, as you note, other significant number of vacancies, and those are being filled with long-term subs, and those positions remain planned for next year.
I want to also speak to contractual language with that. The district contractually has to continue to look for permanent teachers, but as we know that, we do have some hard-to-fill areas nationwide, math, bilingual, E&L programs, as well as exceptional learner special education. So those vacancies we continue to have, not just our district, because I also look at the other districts, what do they have, what's vacant, and so contractually, we're able to utilize substitutes for a number of weeks, and then we still have to continue to go out to find permanent teachers.
Thank you, Dr. Manning. Mr. Howard.
Thank you, Mr. President. So, when we talk about staffing, can you break it down in layman's terms? I know we say we have so many positions that are tough to fill. And what are we doing as a district? Are we thinking outside the box? Are we doing things differently? Or are we doing things the way that we've always done it? And if not, can you explain in layman's terms what this district is doing to fill some of those positions that are so hard to fill?
So we do lots of things. We do some thinking outside the box. We've done some recruitment fairs here. I know that Ms. Holder has attended and have also facilitated recruitment fairs virtually as well as in person to recruit candidates. We've done that earlier this year. We've done the hiring earlier. We have not waited until late spring. That's something that the district has been doing. We've also done some partnerships with universities. I don't know if there's anything else.
So I know that we've been in constant talks with Mount St. Mary's College as well as SUNY New Paltz in order to try to get some grow your own programs and also seek ways in which we can recruit individuals, especially for an E&L and different extensions within their cert to try to expand our staffing in those areas. So one of the biggest concerns is that about maybe 3 or 4 years ago, there are a lot of higher education institutions stop certification programs in our bilingual population, and they're not close to this region. I think we have maybe one program. And then it's just the pool of trying to find certified math, special ed, they're very hard to find. So we've really been seeking out universities that have those programs to try to see what ways can we do an internship certificate? Can we do different things to try to recruit people to the district?
So I'm going to ask a stupid question, because I do that at times. So when we do have these job fairs, when we have situations where we bring people in and we have more who apply for other positions, do we talk to these individuals about perhaps maybe changing their certs and coming back? Or, we know people are out there that want these jobs, but if they don't have the right certs, is that conversation had with the individuals? Perhaps if you do this, maybe we can do that in the very near future, something, that kind of conversation?
Certifications sometimes take 2 years. The district has engaged in conversations about internship certifications when candidates have some of the credits that are required, but that would entail them also now entering into another master's degree program, which has added additional cost to them. So we do have conversations. I know that one of the things that we've done, I know that some principals attended the fair with you at New Paltz, Ms. Holder, and there were interviews held there as well as interviews held at the district to get a jump start in terms of some of the candidates that we get. Now, we get hundreds of candidates. Some of them, in every profession, or when you look at OLAS, we may say, ooh, we have 50 people who have applied for a math position. They may be applying for math positions, and they may be certified as someone who works on a ship sometimes, not to say that they can't have their certifications, but I think oftentimes that we think, oh my goodness, we have all these people, and when we dig a little deeper, maybe 3 or 4 of those people will have the actual certification that's required. And because New York State does not offer reciprocity, it's one of the hardest states to receive a teacher certification in. So in order to come over to teach in New York, you have to take some of the exams and also sometimes some additional coursework.
So, total transparency, I knew the answers to some of these questions, but I'm getting hit with them outside in the community. And people are asking those questions, and I think it needs to be explained to them in terms like you just did, what the issues are, instead of letting a negative narrative promote why we're not doing things, but give the reasons and the explanations more so that the public is more aware that we are trying to do our due diligence, but some things come into play that make that not able to happen in the timeline that we're working with.
Tell them to check their source and their intentions.
I just also want to say at our recent job fair, Ms. Holder, and I actually had a certification table, and I and her reviewed transcripts, gave programs to support members of our community that, because at the end of the day, this is also about our community. Many people that live here are seeking jobs, and to educate people on professions, and that's like a part of one of my passions. So there was literally a certification table where we reviewed transcripts, we gave people indications of how they can get, because it's not also just for teachers, we're also looking for teaching assistants. So how do you get that pathway? And most of the evening, I sat reviewing transcripts, giving people direction on how they can gain employment and education, because we need educators.
Thank you, Ms. Peterson.
Last question. So we often hear when we during budget season, try to stay away from the individuals who are closest to our scholars. So I guess my question is, was there a clear intent with this budget that we have now to try to stay away from cuts at the people who are closest to our scholars? And do we have anything in this budget that addresses that scenario?
I'm not sure why this keeps coming up. It's this rhetoric that's very negative and just a lot of misinformation. We don't lay teachers off that we need. We have a hard enough time finding staff members. So it's so silly to me to hear this statement continuously over and over again. We have a hard enough time filling the positions just based on a lot of the negativity and the misinformation. We add teachers mostly every board meeting because we continue to look for teachers. We have a budget that we operate within, right? Within that budget, we add positions once needed. So this idea that we're cutting staff members or cutting teachers that we don't need, it's just ridiculous. It doesn't make any sense. We have labor laws and contracts that we have to adhere to. We cannot have classes without students. We cannot cut teachers or teaching assistants if we have positions for them, period. If we need them, we hire them.
So I ask these questions because I'm trying to arm the public with enough information that they have available to them. So when they go to the polls to vote on the budget, they voted from a position of knowledge and understanding what's actually going on. And my last question is this: heavy lift, exceptional learners, and security, as far as I'm concerned. Have we done enough in those 2 areas in regards in reference to this budget?
I think Mr. Sager will tell you, right? He's always going to ask for more, but what we have we can always use more, but how we mitigate against some of those costs, we're looking at some technology using AI to help us with some technology to reduce some of the human need, because we know we have a lot of people walking in and out of our buildings, and so we're also using the technology to help us, as does every other public organization. In terms of exceptional learners, we are adding, Ms. Roaring just actually pointed that out, that several of the new positions are positions that we're adding. We realize that we need, there are areas that we need to add in exceptional learners. There are certain types of positions by doing our audits that we know that we need. We don't do this in isolation. We work with our building leaders, Ms. Roaring spoke to that before, as well as our department and division leaders to make sure that we have all that we need for our scholars.
Can I just add one thing on that? When we had our budget presentation for each division back on February 25th, those 6 positions for exceptional learners are the very positions that division identified as their highest priority.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Anyone else? I have a question, but we need to get to slide 13 if we could. It's the slide that has paying down debt. You were just there. Right there. So line 3, debt service, 24 to 26, 27 proposed. So we've paid down roughly $15 million in debt. I would like you to help us understand what that means, because I believe it's very, very positive and helps create resources, but we kind of glanced over it, and it's a $15 million thing.
So I do want to continue to note that 24-25 is actual, and at the end of that fiscal year, the board approved an expenditure of $15 million. That was a transfer into our band principal line, and we paid down $15 million in our band, which is our short-term debt that we use as we continue to do construction projects. That was possible because of the vacancy savings that we realized that year. When we pay down the short-term debt, this decreases our long-term expenses in 2 ways. It first decreases it in the cost of issuing that long-term debt, because we're borrowing less, the issuing costs are lower. It also then decreases our annual principal and interest payments on those serial bonds going forward. We do know that our building condition survey is happening this year. We expect that it will identify some building envelope, site work, and interior things that are necessary, probably some mechanicals as well, and that we're going to have to look at what those needs are going forward in another capital bond. So it's prudent for us to continue to pay down band principal each year as we have the opportunity to do so. We do expect making a similar recommendation this year.
Thank you very much. Go ahead, please.
I'm sorry, I forgot that I did not add that. In addition, with security, when I mentioned AI, we have ordered scanners that will expedite as students are moving into our buildings, and they are equipped with artificial intelligence to help us to identify items that don't belong in our buildings. So we do have backpack scanners coming in, and that's a big part of Mr. Sega's budget. Sorry about that.
Thank you, Dr. Manning. Mr. Levinson, go ahead, please.
Just one more question, but I don't even know who to address it to, if it's Ms. Holder or Ms. Roaring or Dr. Campbell. We have on here in this budget that we're going to be adding 6 positions for exceptional learners. What is our expectation of being able to find people to fill that? Because we know in some positions it's not an easy task.
So like Dr. Manning Campbell mentioned earlier, we started hiring earlier this year. When I came here this summer, we were doing all of the hiring for the school year in the summer. We've started as far back as January, looking at what we needed and making sure that we had specific job fairs where we're targeting those shortage areas and talking to the college, reaching out to New Paltz, reaching out to Mount St. Mary and saying, what students do you have when they plan on graduating? Then we can give them the internship cert. When you give someone an opportunity and you help them, they're more likely to stay with you. So that's what we're planning.
Thank you very much.
Thank you both. Any other questions? We have 6-3 to 6-8.
I'm sorry.
Sorry.
Mr. Gawker had a brief
Okay.
couple of clarifications in his proposed budget that we wanted to get to as well, if we could, before we went to the resolutions. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Roaring. I believe I have a small slide deck up there. Thank you, everybody. I'm Ben Gawker, Director of the Newburgh Free Library. I'm here tonight to provide additional clarification regarding the library's proposed 2027 fiscal year budget, specifically as it pertains to capital expenditures. Okay, next slide. So here is the proposed budget summary as presented 2 weeks ago. But what is not clear here, and what I wanted to sort of clear up tonight, is the amount to be budgeted for our upcoming local history workroom capital project. Next slide. So in the updated budget summary, which you see here, and which I think provides a more accurate accounting of expenditures, you'll see we've added the transfer to capital line, $154,000. What hasn't changed anywhere is the bottom line. The lines that have changed from the previous slide to this slide are amounts in equipment and a portion in the contractual utilities line. Those are more appropriately budgeted here in the transfer to capital because, next slide, these represent budget expenses that will cover budget overruns for the local history workroom project to address HVAC controls, allowances, furniture costs, and painting. So it's a much briefer presentation and probably less thorough than yours, Ms. Roaring, fewer numbers. But I did want to just make sure that it was as clear to everybody who will be voting on our budget and to everyone here on the board. Next slide. I'm happy to take any questions about this clarification. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Gawker. Okay. Six three is a resolution to approve the general fund budget. So get a motion and a second on 6-3.
So move.
Discussion on 6-3. Ms. Bello.
Okay, yeah, the comptroller's audit made it clear that the board must review detailed expenditures, not summaries. In early March, I requested that detail for several executive offices, both in emails and public comments. What I received did not meet that standard. So to vote yes tonight would require blind faith in numbers I have not been allowed to verify. That is not responsible governance. That is not responsible oversight. Without the information required for proper oversight, I cannot verify the accuracy of this budget or the projections for 26-27. Therefore, I can't support the budget.
Thank you, Ms. Bello. Any other comments, questions on 6-3?
Ms. Christine Bello.
No.
Ms. Thomasina Bello.
No.
Ms. Boucher.
No.
Mr. Bergarelli.
Yes.
Ms. Burks.
Yes.
Mr. DeRay.
Yes.
Mr. Howard.
Yes.
Mr. Levenstein.
Yes.
Ms. Politi.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Thank you. 6-4 is resolution to approve 26-27 property tax report card. Get a motion and a second, please.
So move.
Second.
Discussion on that?
Ms. Thomasina Bello.
No.
Ms. Boucher.
No.
Mr. Bergarelli.
Yes.
Ms. Burks.
Yes.
Ms. DeRay.
Yes.
Mr. Howard.
Yes.
Mr. Levenstein.
Yes.
Ms. Politi.
Yes.
Ms. Christine Bello.
No.
Motion carries.
Thank you. We're at 6-5, resolution to approve 26-27 Newburgh Free Library budget. Get a motion and a second?
So move.
Second.
Thank you. Discussion on 6-5?
Okay. Ms. Boucher?
Yes.
Mr. Bergarelli?
Yes.
Ms. Burks?
Yes.
Mr. DeRay?
Yes.
Mr. Howard?
Yes.
Mr. Levinstein?
Yes.
Ms. Politi?
Yes.
Ms. Christine Bello?
Yes.
Ms. Thomasina Bello?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. We're at 6.6, resolution to authorize the superintendent to execute partnership agreement with the Boys and Girls Club of Newburgh. Get a motion and a second, please.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. Discussion on 6.6?
Mr. Bergarelli?
Yes.
Ms. Burks?
Yes.
Mr. DeRay?
Yes.
Mr. Howard?
Yes.
Mr. Levinstein? Yes. Ms. Politi?
Yes.
Ms. Christine Bello?
Yes.
Ms. Thomasina Bello?
Yes.
Ms. Boucher?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Thank you. We're at 6.7, resolution to approve proposal for enrollment study. Get a motion and a second?
So moved.
Thank you. Discussion on 6.7? Ms. Bello?
Yeah, I would like to ask, when did the board authorize the RFP on this particular item?
I think this is similar to an RFP question you asked a couple of weeks ago that Mr. Shaw answered.
Well, you know, we do have a policy that said that the board authorizes the purchasing agent. And, I mean, what is the purpose of having policies if we're not going to follow them?
My answer to that would be, we have a district lawyer. He sits 2 seats to my left. You asked him the question. He interpreted the policies at the meeting and interpreted them to say
Okay.
you did not understand the policy. Mr. Howard.
Thank you, Mr. President. So I guess my question is to Mr. Shaw. Does this resolution violate any policy that we have as a district?
May I answer?
Yes, please.
So when I reviewed the policies, there are certain RFPs that are board-related, and in the past, that has required the board to authorize it. There are so many RFPs in school districts that are done administratively, and there are rubrics that are utilized, and then that information is brought to the board for approval. So operationally, that's how I interpreted the policy.
In furtherance of my question, this resolution does not violate any board policy that we have existing.
If I wasn't clear, let me say, in my opinion, no.
Thank you, Mr. Shaw.
Ms. Bello, go ahead.
Also, the policy does dictate that we are supposed to have all the proposals in front of us, not just the selected company or person. We're supposed to be able to see all the proposals. We don't have that. We're supposed to be able to see the qualifications, the scoring, their pricing and evaluation summary. We don't have that. So the comptroller has repeatedly held that boards must have all relevant facts before awarding a contract. We have very few. So I cannot support this.
Thank you, Ms. Bello. Any other discussion on this item?
Ms. Burks?
Yes.
Mr. DeRay?
Yes.
Mr. Howard?
Yes.
Mr. Levinstein?
Yes.
Ms. Politi?
Yes.
Ms. Christine Bello?
No.
Ms. Thomasina Bello?
No.
Ms. Boucher?
No.
Mr. Bergarelli?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. We're at 6.8, resolution to approve name of the new educational facility. It's an action item. Get a motion and a second, please.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. The building will be named, provided we vote positively, Newburgh Free Academy and Technical Education Center. Any discussion on the item? Free Academy Career and Technical Education Center. Any discussion on the item? call vote.
Mr. DeRay,
Yes.
Mr. Howard,
Yes.
Mr. Levinstein.
Yes.
Ms. Politi,
Yes.
Ms. Christine Bello,
Yes.
Ms. Thomasina Bello,
Yes.
Ms. Boucher,
Yes.
Mr. Bergarelli,
Yes.
Ms. Burks.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. We're at item 7.1, Board President Update. If you could put up that slide and make it a little larger if you could. Tonight, I'm going to provide a brief clarification regarding my March 24th comments, which were based on the official Commissioner's decision available at that time regarding appeal number 22541. Could you go to the next slide, please? On March 24th, my remarks were grounded in the Commissioner's written decision dated March 11th, 2026, which was the only formal determination before the board on that evening. Go to the next slide, please. The statement delivered that evening reflected the decision directly and accurately. So you go to the next slide, please. During the same meeting, an informal email dated March 20th was read into the public record. For clarity, that email was not a formal determination of the Commissioner. Let's go to the next slide, please. This final slide distinguishes between the informal email and the official decision. On the left side is the Commissioner's official decision, a formal signed determination dismissing Appeal 22541. On the right is the March 20th email. It's an informal communication indicating a possible reconsideration and future corrected decision. As of today, April 7th, 2026, no revised, no superseding determination has been issued by the State Commissioner of Education. So to be clear, my March 24th remarks were based on the official determination before the board at that time, and that determination remains unchanged as of today. Thank you. We're moving on to first reading, 7.2, first reading of policy 6245 and 1900. Get a motion and a second?
So moved.
Second?
Thank you. Discussion on these items.
Mr. Howard,
Yes.
Mr. Levinstein,
Yes.
Ms. Politi,
Yes.
Ms. Christine Bello, Ms. Thomasina Bello,
Yes.
Ms. Boucher,
Yes.
Mr. Bergarelli,
Yes.
Ms. Burks,
Yes.
Mr. DeRay.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. We're at item 8, student board member. Mr. Orsino, you're up.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for having me tonight. I'd like to share some events that have transpired since the last board meeting. Our varsity boys track and field athletes have been doing more than just competing. They're also actively giving back to the community. Recently, they spent time in our elementary schools reading to younger students, showing leadership outside of athletics. Our student athletes don't just compete, they influence and strengthen our community, especially the youth. Our cheerleading program has also continued to make an impact, in season or not. The Goldback cheerleaders brought great energy to Horizons on the Hudson Elementary, where they led a pep rally for the younger students, building school spirit at every level. On the competitive side, our boys varsity track and field team had a strong performance at the Coliseum Classic at Goshen High School, bringing home 25 medals and winning the team title. Some standout performances include Jerron Underwood, Gianni Graham, Musa Shakan, and Jaden Williams winning the 4x1 relay with one of the fastest times in New York State. G. Winology placed first in the 400-meter hurdles with the top time in the state and also contributed alongside Underwood, Graham, and Brian Arenas to a first-place finish in the 4x4 relay. I'd also like to recognize our boys bowling team who competed at state championships. A special shout out to our seniors Gage Sismanowicz, Diego Magana, and Caleb McNeil for finishing their high school careers competing at the highest level. Additionally, Gage and Caleb earned sportsmanship awards, which shows a lot about their character and how they represent Newburgh both on and off the lanes. Thank you for listening. That is all for today, and thank you for your time.
Mr. Howard.
Thank you, Mr. President. I had my hand raised under your section, but I just want to address the young lady that came to the microphone, Tracy Wallace's daughter. That conversation will be had. We've had some things go on, and I wasn't able to be at today's meeting because of a family emergency, but we will be having a conversation around your requests, and I just want you to know that we are thinking about it, and we will have a decision at our next meeting, after our next policy committee meeting. Yeah. You're right.
Thank you, Mr. Howard. We are at item 9, Clerk of the Board, approval of minutes.
Request for approval of the minutes of the March 24th, 2026 regular meeting.
Thank you. You got a motion and a second?
So moved. Second.
Thank you. Go ahead, call the roll.
Yes. Mr. Levinstein?
Yes.
Ms. Politi?
Yes.
Ms. Christine Bello?
Yes.
Ms. Thomasina Bello?
Yes.
Ms. Boucher?
Yes.
Mr. Bergarelli?
Yes.
Ms. Burks?
Yes.
Mr. DeRay?
Yes.
And Mr. Howard?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. We're at item 10, Assistant Superintendent of Human Resources, Ms. Holder, good evening.
Good evening, Mr. President. I have items 10.1 to 10.8 on consent for your consideration, please.
Thank you. Would anybody like to separate out any items? Go ahead, Ms. Boucher.
10.7.
10.7, okay. Anyone else separate? Okay, could I get a motion on 10.1 to 10.8 minus 10.7 and a second?
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. Discussion on 10.1 to 10.8 minus 10.7. Go ahead, Mr. Levinstein.
Ms. Holder, is the following an accurate description of the human resources agenda being presented tonight? HR agenda items A through F, including appointments, change of statuses, resignations, retirements, and end of assignments. Approve a supplemental memorandum of agreement between the district and the CSEA, and approve the following. Empire After School Program appointments supported by Empire State After School Project Grant, 21st Century After School Academy appointments supported by the 21st Century After School Program Grant, South Middle School Instructional Leadership Team appointments supported by the School Improvement Grant, NECSD Reading Day appointments supported by MBK Challenge Grant, home teacher appointments, and abolish a special ed teacher position and create a speech teacher position to align with the assistive technology specialist assignment. Ms. Holder, is this correct?
Yes, it is.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Any other discussion on 10.1 to 10.8 minus 10.7? Please.
Ms. Politi? I think she's not here. Ms. Christine Bello?
Yes.
Ms. Thomasina Bello?
Yes.
Ms. Boucher?
Yes.
Mr. Bergarelli?
Yes.
Ms. Burke?
Yes.
Mr. DeRay?
Yes.
Mr. Howard?
Yes.
Mr. Levinstein?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. We're at 10.7. Get a motion and a second, please.
So moved.
Second?
Thank you. Discussion on 10.7?
Ms. Christine Bello?
Yes.
Ms. Thomasina Bello?
No.
Ms. Boucher?
No.
Mr. Bergarelli?
Yes.
Ms. Burks? Ms. Burks?
Oh. Yes.
Mr. DeRay?
Yes.
Mr. Howard?
Yes.
Mr. Levinstein?
Yes.
Ms. Politi? Motion carried.
Thank you. We're at item 11, Assistant Superintendent of Finance, Ms. Roaring. Good evening. Wait.
Apologize. I'm sorry, I was providing some additional clarification over here on another item.
We like the person.
Apologize. Finance Division has items 11.1 to 11.9 for your consideration on routine consent this evening.
Thank you. 11.1 to 11.9. Get a motion in a second?
So moved?
Point of order.
Oh, I need a second.
We need a second.
You just announced 11.1 through 11.9, right?
Right.
Can I separate out a couple?
Yes.
Yes.
11.5 and 11.6?
Okay. All right, can I get a motion on 11.1 to 11.9 minus 11.5 and 11.6?
So moved.
Any discussion? 11.1 to 11.9 minus 11.5 and 11.6?
Ms. Thomasina Bello?
Yes.
Ms. Boucher?
Yes.
Mr. Bergarelli?
Yes.
Ms. Burks?
Yes.
Mr. Duray?
Yes.
Mr. Howard?
Yes.
Mr. Levinstein?
Yes.
Ms. Politi?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Get a motion and a second on 11.5, please.
Second.
Thank you. Discussion on 11.5? Ms. Bello?
Yes, okay. This is to approve the backpack scanners, and I noticed that this quote references a New York State grease contract, but the item does not show the contract number, the bid date, the cooperative agreement, or proof that our district is allowed to piggyback off this contract. So, I mean, and the other thing that I noticed is also this quote is expired. So is it still viable, or it expired on March 4th?
This is not Greece.
I also have our purchasing agent here tonight in case you have additional questions on this. Yes, the quote is still viable. We've been working closely with this company. The board approved a pilot at the last meeting for the backpack scanners at the North Auditorium. This is to replicate that at CTE. We are cooperating with another district who did the RFP process for this, and we are able to participate. This is an ongoing purchase as we implement.
You know, I'm not necessarily against something like this, but what is really troubling to me is that we get no supporting documentation. So that I feel that it's our obligation to be able to verify facts, to make sure this was competitively bid. And I mean, is this a sole source, this one company?
If it is indeed on the state contract, the state contract was already bid. The state put out the bid, the companies respond to the state, and then the district can piggyback off of those state prices. The same way a town may buy police cars. They go through the state contract and they buy police. The bidding's been done, the contract's been let. But then every municipality, town, taxing agencies allowed to piggyback off of those contracts. That's the way it's designed.
So there's two pieces here, if I can just pause for a second, because we're kind of intermixing the two of them. So 10.5 is with Lenev, which is through the TIPS cooperative, and that is what we're accessing to get that pricing. 10.6 is the opportunity where we have to piggyback off of another district's RFP process that was done.
Can I say something?
Yes, one more comment.
Yes, I have reviewed the Greece Central School District's bid for the weapons detection systems, and they followed all of the appropriate procedures under Section 103 of the General Municipal Law. And it's a valid bid, and it does have a piggybacking provision for all municipalities, not-for-profits, and political subdivisions under the General Municipal Law, which includes school districts.
Thank you. I just think that we should be able to see these things for ourselves.
Any further on 11.5? Good, Liz.
Ms. Thomasina Bello?
Yes.
Ms. Boucher?
Yes.
Mr. Bergarelli?
Yes.
Ms. Burks?
Yes.
Mr. DeRay?
Yes.
Mr. Howard?
Yes.
Mr. Levinstein?
Yes.
Ms. Politi?
Yes.
Ms. Christine Bello?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. We're at 11.6, resolution to approve proposal for metal detectors for CTE. Got a motion and a second, please?
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. Discussion on 11.6?
I don't know who moved.
Ms. Bello?
What, I mean, we're given just this figure here of $61,835. We have no idea what we're getting for this amount of money. And again, you know, there was like, there's no details. So can somebody explain, I mean, where is the actual proposal that we're supposed to be approving here? This is a piece of paper with a number on it. And then the letter says MIS security, but the proposal is from line V system. So what is MIS's role? It's like a vendor mismatch there. I don't understand what's going on with that. And
The vendor is MIS Security. The letter has a misprint in it. It should not have said LINEV. It should be MIS Security, Inc. for the Ronin system.
okay, well, that explains that. And what's included in this $61,835? There's no scope, there's no nothing here.
So I believe from Mr. Sager's information, this would procure 4 AI metal detectors for our CTE building.
You said 4?
Yes.
Okay.
So I also want to add, it's a system, so it's the 4 metal detectors plus all the monitoring systems that go with it, and so it's a system. So that's why the details are maybe lost, because everything is kind of encompassed in one thing. It's not just the detectors, but it's also the viewing things where security can see what's happening.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Levinstein?
So in this particular case, are we approving what you described, or are we approving CS Arch's letter of recommendation for that?
I believe what we're approving would be the resolution language there, which is reflective of the MIS.
Thank you.
Are we good, Mr. Levinstein?
Good, thank you.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Go ahead, please.
Ms. Boucher?
Yes.
Mr. Bergarelli?
Yes.
Ms. Burks?
Yes.
Mr. DeRay?
Yes.
Mr. Howard?
Yes.
Mr. Levinstein?
Yes.
Ms. Politi?
Yes.
Ms. Christine Bello?
Yes.
Ms. Thomasina Bello?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. That concludes my items.
Thank you, Ms. Roaring. We're at item 12, Assistant Superintendent, C&I. Dr. O'Grady, good evening.
Thank you so much. The Division of Curriculum and Instruction presents item 12.1 for your consideration.
Thank you. One item, any discussion? Go ahead. Wait a moment. So, can we get a motion and a second, please?
So moved.
Second.
Thank you.
Mr. Bergarelli?
Yes.
Ms. Burks?
Yes.
Mr. DeRay?
Yes.
Mr. Howard? Mr. Levinstein?
Yes.
Ms. Politi?
Yes.
Ms. Christine Bello?
Yes.
Ms. Thomasina Bello?
Yes.
Ms. Boucher?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
We're at Item 13, Assistant Superintendent Exceptional Learners, Ms. McKitty Bromley, good evening.
Good evening, Mr. President. The Division of Exceptional Learners has one item on consent for your approval, 13.1.
Thank you. Get a motion and a second on 13-1.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion on 13-1.
Ms. Burks?
Yes.
Mr. DeRay?
Yes.
Mr. Howard?
Yes.
Mr. Levinstein?
Yes.
Ms. Politi?
Yes.
Ms. Christine Bello?
Yes.
Ms. Thomasina Bello?
Yes.
Ms. Boucher?
Yes.
Mr. Bergarelli?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you. There's no further business before the board. Get a motion to adjourn
So moved.
and a second. Second. We get a second?
She's second.
Let's call it.
Okay, I'll start. Ms. Christine Bello?
Yes.
Ms. Thomasina Bello?
Yes.
Ms. Boucher?
Yes.
Mr. Bergarelli?
Yes.
Ms. Burks?
Yes.
Mr. DeRay?
Yes.
Mr. Howard?
Yes.
Mr. Levinstein?
Yes.
Ms. Politi?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Thank you.